Today I'm reading out of this book, My Conversations with the Poor Souls, a chapter entitled, When Will I Die? Since she's talking to the poor souls, I presume she's going to ask them when she is going to die. If you like these videos, please remember to share them with friends. There's so many people I know who appreciate these purgatory videos. When will I die? February 7th, 1924. In SCH ... She doesn't name the city. Heinrich actually came at night. He did not say anything, but there must be others in my room. There's always whispering around me, which isn't very pleasant. February 8th, Heinrich was there a long time. He's quite handsome. I asked, will you come often? No, you have to give, he says, you have to give me more. I said, what? He said, mortification. I have to admit, I've been slacking off a bit lately because I thought he was getting better. When he was gone, I saw a shadow that kept walking up and down, also heard various noises. February 9th, Heinrich was with me twice during the day, longer at night. I asked, can you tell me when I'm going to die? He said, be ready. So soon? When you've matured. Can you tell me my mistakes? No. As he spoke to me, there was suddenly a hissing and whispering in the room that I hadn't heard before. Then everything was gone. I'd heard strange noises around me even during the day. What will it be? February 11th. Heinrich suddenly stood with me during my morning prayers. I said, come here, I want to give you holy water. Is it good for you? He said, yes. What else do you want? Your hand. I gave it to him. He took my other one. We stood like that for a while. It was as if all my strength were being drained from me, as if my own will were being extinguished. So I said, I beg you, let go of me. He said, hold on, then I'll be free. He held me tightly, more a clamp than a hand. Finally, I said, let me go, otherwise I won't be able to go to Holy Communion. It's getting late. Then he let go of me, and for the first time, I saw a smile on his face. He said, thank you. I'm in the light. And he was gone. This next chapter is called Reinhard. February 16th, I met an old man in the hallway who then disappeared into my room. The noises in my room are always the same. February 18th, I saw a woman in the garden, always beside me. She looked very sad. When I spoke to her, she was gone. February 19th, I saw the man in the hall again. He doesn't look too scary. February 21st, the man came to me at night. He seemed very pleased. As I prayed, he stayed with me longer and then opened a dresser drawer as if searching. February 22nd, 23rd, I was in pain. Nothing, no music, no noise. February 24th, the man came. Because I was advised to try not to respond, I did so. It was very special. The man stood motionless in front of me and stared at me. It was as if someone were withdrawing a power from me. I felt very weak when he bent over me and breathed on me, which was disgusting. I wanted to continue and did nothing. Then he screamed so loud I thought the whole house would collapse and was gone. I felt miserable. He had taken something from me, but what? Or was it just the result of trying to resist him? Anyway, I will try again. The scream had been heard by my niece, who said I had screamed in a dream. February 25th, I found the man in my room as I was about to go to sleep. I pretended not to see him. During evening prayers, he gave me a firm push, just like a person who is angry. But I didn't want to pay attention to him, so I went to sleep and even turned off the light. I felt him near me. Also, there was a lot of noise in my room. So I preferred to turn on the light again. Then he ran about the room. Finally, he came to me and said, why are you resisting me? I didn't want to answer. Then he threw himself on me with all his might. That is, he squeezed my neck and was gone with a hideous cry. Now I think that it has been tried. I have to react again. I heard the music again. February 26th, the man came in screaming. I asked, "What do you want? I'm ready to help you." He said, "Why didn't you hear me?" I said, "Because I didn't want to. Go to others." He said, "I can only go to you." I said, "Who are you?" "Reinhard." "Why don't you rest?" "Cheated." "Why did you open the drawer?" "Money." "How can I help you?" "Holy Mass, I stole." Then he was gone. February 27th, Reinhard was only there briefly and silently. On February 28th, Reinhard came. He's really nothing to fear. I asked, "Did you live here in the castle?" He said, "No." "Where are you buried?" He said, "In Heidelberg." "Then why are you here?" "Because I took the money here." "You can be calm. I'll have the Holy Mass read." Then he was gone. Nobody knows anything about a Reinhard. I think he may have been a servant here once. March 1st, a lot of noise. I also saw a female figure in the corridor, and then music again. During the day, there were several shadows in my room and quite a lot of noise. March 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I was ill. Nothing came. March 6th, the woman was with me in the night, still very unrecognizable, quite restless. March 7th, I met the woman in the hallway. At night, almost unbearable noise in the room, in the closet, under the bed. I was very scared. That gets on my nerves more than seeing something. March 8th, again, dreadful noise. In between came the woman. Her face is still completely in the fog. I sat in the room reading. Suddenly, a storm surrounded me, and I was in thick smoke. But the windows and doors were closed. It was very spooky. The thought that everything is still increasing depresses me very much. And yet I am very happy because the awareness of being close to God often overcomes me in such a way that I want to escape from everything and stay close to Him. If I could only describe it, but I think you can only feel it. Maybe it's exaggeration, but I'm not working my way into it artificially. In the midst of being jolly, all of a sudden it's there and all I can do is adore, and those seconds make me happy for days. I hate to write that. It sounds so conceited, but I do it to be on the safe side because they would tell me if I was wrong. The asterisk says that her confessor would tell her if she was wrong. March 11th, the woman came 3 times during the night. She is now clearly recognizable. Misfortune is pronounced again in the arms. Her mouth is swollen. What is very strange is that my niece heard her coming into my room. It was at the right time. March 12th, I saw her 5 times during the day, always just like a rag. March 14th, she came to me like in fire. I said, "Tell me who you are." She said, "Ermengarde Montfort." Then she threw herself on the ground and cried terribly. I felt so sorry for her. I knelt down next to her and said, "I'll do what I can for you. Do you have a special request?" She said, "Mortification." I said, "Mortification in what?" She said, "In this body." Then she was gone. If I were different, how much could I help? Thank God the spirits are educating me now. March 15th, she was there for a long time. She's not one of the scary spirits. There's only compassion. She must have been very beautiful. Only the mouth is distorted. She didn't speak, but liked to pray. March 16th, chaplains stayed at the castle overnight. When Ermengarde came, I said, "Go to the fathers who can pray better for you." She said, "I was with them. They don't see." I said, "Do we have to see you to be able to help you?" She said, "Do you give to the poor if they don't stretch out their hand to you?" I said, "Did you live here?" She said, "No, but I sinned here." There's something deeply sad about her that I haven't seen in others. I heard the music again after a long time. March 17th, Ermengarde came to me already crying. I held my crucifix of the dying toward her, and then she kissed it. Couldn't be consoled at all. I asked, "Are you suffering so much?" She said, "Look at me." She was doused with fire, but was gone immediately. In the morning, she came again. I asked, "Why do you have to suffer so much?" She said, "Because of the sins of the tongue. I have discord." I couldn't understand what. So I asked her, "Can I really help you?" She said, "Yes." I said, "But tell me, aren't there more people who could help you?" She said, "They pass by." I said, "How did you find me?" She said, "I saw others draw towards you." Then she came up to me and really looked at me with thirsty eyes. I felt so poor. Then she was gone. I don't even know what else I could do for her because the living are asking a lot from me at the moment, and I can only give so little. March 19th, Ermengarde encountered 4 times during the day. March 20th through 27th. I had influenza. I didn't see her or hear anything. Vacation. March 28th, felt something in my room but saw nothing. I said, "Ermengarde, are you there?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Where have you been all this time?" She said, "With you." "Why couldn't I see you?" "You couldn't give anything." Have I thought about myself too much? Yes. Then I saw her again. How strange, it's true. I was so miserable that all I could think of was at most, I want to be left in peace. March 29th, she sat down on my bed. Nothing to fear, just much prayer. March 30th, she was with me a lot during the day. I asked a lot, but no answer. March 31st, she was crying next to me again. I asked, "How can you finally be helped?" She said, "With love." "But I have it for you." She said, "Not enough." Then I prayed with her for a long time. I don't know how I can muster up more love for her. I give what I can. April 1st, 2nd, 3rd, ill again. Still nothing. April 4th, I saw her almost the whole day in every room, corridor, and staircase. And on April 5th, she came to my bedside with arms outstretched. I gave her my hands and said, "How often do you come?" She said, "Give me more." I said, "What?" She said, "Holy Communion." Then she was gone. Now that's strange again, because I always gave Holy Communion to my sick niece. She literally haunted me during the day, but suddenly she was always there. April 8th, she came at night, threw herself on my bed, and hugged me. Everything about her that I can't explain isn't so terrible to me, but she draws more strength from me than the others. It could also be that I'm a little more tired because of the nursing. April 9th, she was with me for 3 hours. I asked, "Now I'll give you what you want from me." She said, "Yes." I said, "Are you feeling better?" A happy glow went over her face and she nodded. "Tell me, am I descended from you?" And then in parentheses, it says, "because Montforts are in her family tree." She said, "Yes." I said, "Did that draw you to me?" She said, "No." I said, "How did you realize that it came from you?" She said, "The blood." How strange. I got around to asking her that because she's so different from the others. April 11th, I saw her a lot. I had peace at night. April 12th, she came floating into my room. I said, "Would you like me to pray with you?" She said, "Yes." After I had prayed with her for a long time, she whispered something which I unfortunately could not understand. It appeared to be in Latin and sounded like ex usurus, but I can't say for sure since she murmured longer. It may have been a psalm verse. In parentheses, it says ex usurus means he redeems their souls from usury and injustice, says the 14th verse of Psalm 71. I think I'll stop right there. It's a lot to digest. I hope it's helping. Please give me your comments. What can I do better in this reading? What are you taking from it? We all need to get these souls out of purgatory. I'm Dr. Christine Bacon. Thanks for watching this Bacon Bit. And as always, remember to live your life sunny side up.